All right, we'll call the meeting to order for Enosburgh Selectboard on October 21st. It's 6:10. Any changes to the agenda? Anybody have any changes for the agenda? Seeing none, we'll go on to public comment. Anybody for public comment? Yes, David?
Just a real quick request, actually, more than a comment. So down at the armory, in the front there, there's this nice sign holder. And I've been kind of expecting that there would be a nice digital sign there. Maybe not so much, but this is my request. So when we have the rink in operation, what I would like to do is to put a piece of plywood in that sign holder and put the words, the rink is open or closed, and just put a board.
A flappy sign or something.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You mean in the where we had that little temporary sign hanging, which I don't even know where that is anymore.
I thought you took it down.
No, the wind took it, I think. So
No,
it's spread around town somewhere.
It's inside.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, in the frame.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Paint it and make a nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that work?
Yeah. I don't see why not. No problem with me.
That's all I can do. Sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
That was quick.
That was easy.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Thank you, David.
See you.
Bye.
David, Sally.
Bye, Sally.
Just saw a bear just below your guys' place today,
Yeah,
too.
be careful.
Get that bird.
Yeah, David's flat there.
Speaking of bears.
So I have a request as well. So now that we've got the ditching done and it seems to have taken away or alleviated it to minimal to nothing,
Around the Opera House, it has.
Yeah.
Good.
as far as I can tell. I'd like to have permission for, Opera House volunteers to start ripping up carpet from the back door, the two double doors of the hallway that goes to the back of the back area, the women's and the men's dressing room. The green room already has a different flooring more like this on. I'd like to just start cutting and ripping it up. I think it'd be better to have no rug in there than when right now it's not good.
Yeah.
So, and we'll just look for funding or if we have money and we price some flooring out, we'll come back and say, hey, can we do this? But I think it'd just be better to have it gone than not.
Get rid of the mold.
Get the ball rolling.
Get that sand stuff out.
What's underneath the
Concrete.
concrete?
And then I'll get prices on sheetrock because I think the lower part of the sheetrock needs to be pulled for the same reason. See what's behind it as far as insulation, if the insulation needs to be pulled and replaced. Then we can start pricing and doing that type of stuff, but right now just start with the floor is all I'm asking, and we'll start looking at what the rest of that entails. This won't cost you anything. We'll
Say
just
rip it up.
Yeah,
rip it up
definitely.
and I can put it in the garbage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just cut it in small pieces, put it in bags, put it in the garbage.
Yeah, that'd be great.
As far as the public sees, unless they're going out to go to the elevator, it's gonna look the same to them, so.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't want anybody getting
Wet
sick.
old carpets first.
it's been there forever,
And it's been
and
wet.
it's been wet numerous times. So I think just get it out of there, and then we'll start working our way forward.
When they're working on it, they should put masks on.
Yes. Yeah, we.
And if they need, I guess I can't speak for all of us, but if they need scrapers or something to scrape it up or whatever,
Yeah.
we can either get them or.
Probably go around
Yep.
the ace.
The ace would
Yeah.
It's
something.
just a straight hole, right? Like it's a,
Well, yeah, it's
yeah.
it's almost like a knife on the end of a stick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Makes
I
it a
think,
lot
where
nicer.
did I do that? Oh. maybe-
Is that glue down carpet, probably?
I-
Well, after it's been wet so many times, I bet.
Well,
it's
that's
not
right, it's
really-
probably gonna come up
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, just gonna get rid of it, and, that's it, a lot of stuff going on, mystery dinner, Rocky Horror Picture Show, wrestling.
I see the signs. Yeah.
Wrestling or wrestling?
Pro wrestling.
Yeah, they're renting the place. I've managed to miss every time they've had it. I'm not a big fan, but they pack it. People love it.
Probably full, right?
Yeah. So I think they're the 25th. Is that Friday?
Yeah.
I think they're Friday. Rocky Horror Picture Show with a shadow cast is Saturday. And then next Friday or Saturday is Mystery Dinner Theater with the Cat Crusaders, which usually we sell out for that. So it's been a good year. And we still want the utility bills. If it's a pain, just let me know. Tell Lori I'll go down and get them. If you want to make a donation toward the utilities for Annie, because it was such a success, but we want to see the bills. So.
It's nice to see it do well.
Yep. Thank you for the
Great
thank
job.
you note. That was appreciated. That was it.
We do appreciate all the Opera House, friends of the Opera House are doing to make all that work. It's
Thank
good
you.
to see it busy.
It's helpful having 2 part-time employees. It really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susie.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks.
see you.
Bye.
Watch out for the bears.
Anybody else for public comment? We're almost on the schedule again.
Come on.
Yeah.
I was gonna say dynamic duo, but it's trios.
Yeah. That's good. Come on
It's
up.
always nice to see other faces. Bring anybody you want.
I think I printed enough, including you guys.
Considering we're short-staffed tonight.
I know. I see that.
That was just the front.
I was just about to call
I guess so.
lack of quorum.
We even got one for you.
Oh, sure, I'll play along.
I'm running late. I'm always late.
Okay.
This late in the year and that nice sunny weather, we should be able to just sit back and swing on a porch, right?
Doesn't work like this. does it?
No.
We're gonna do that Thursday inside when it's shitty.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So, just a few updates for you guys. Winter time is coming, so part of tonight I want to go over some winter tires that we need to order, along with some updates on our radio system and a project that Billy has been working on with St. Albans PD. So just some service updates. We have 2 employees that finished the new hire process. I knew I made just enough. Ian and Adam have completed their orientation. They have graduated from orientation and they are operating on the roster as regular employee. They're still under their 3-month probationary period, but so far things have gone well. And Mia Groton is still in orientation. She'll be working through the end of this month and into the beginning of November before we evaluate her for completing her orientation. Everything's been good so far. We've got a few events coming up this month. We've been invited to the Northwestern Trunk or Treat that's conducted at the hospital. From what I've told, they have roughly 400 kids that go to that event. We've been invited along with the fire departments, police forces, and then I think there's a couple other ambulance services there, but I'm not positive. BJ put in a big order for us for candy, which is good. So we've got a crew available to do it and attend and dress up the ambulance and hand out candy to the kids. So it'll be a good thing. And then we're also doing Berkshire Elementary School's Trunk or Treat and Enosburgh's Trunk or Treat. The only thing I haven't found is when Enosburgh's is.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
It's
Okay.
on the laptop.
Oh, you did put it on the laptop?
I don't know, it's on the laptop.
I didn't do it.
Oh.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Hopefully we have 2 groups this weekend, so we're good. Enosburgh. Last week I had a select board meeting with the Franklin Select Board. It went well. They were very nice. They asked some good questions. A couple points to their meeting that I wanted to talk with you guys. Number 1, the contract with Franklin is coming up due or expires next year at the end of June. They have asked that we have a proposal ready for them at the beginning of December of this year. So that's something I'd like to go over with you guys the next select board meeting, so I can have that ready for them.
Because they decide on town meeting day, even though it doesn't take effect until July, so they would need it to go on.
And then the other thing that they asked, this is something that we used to do with them. I wasn't aware of it. I asked Robert Gleason about it during his time period. And what this service, I was told, used to do is honor subscriptions for fire departments. So essentially, we would cover their subscription for any active fire members. I confirmed this with Robert. He said that is something we used to do, and they asked if that is something we could continue doing. So that's a point I wanted to bring up to you guys, if that's something we want to continue to do.
Could you follow up with the question of how many active firemen they have?
Yes, absolutely. I would need essentially, if we're going to do that, every active roster from all our coverage area, because I don't know everybody on the fire department now. That is
Is that
something
just
to
our
do.
department or like local departments?
All local
All
departments.
local
Yeah.
departments.
Yeah. And I guess that's something we used to do back during Robert's time period, but it wasn't something I was aware of, so they asked about it. But yeah, I can find out an exact number and we can go from there. Aside from that, any questions about Franklin or their select board meeting?
But well, you had the number of the transports and
Yep.
how many times you've been there and
Yep.
pleased with everything.
Yep, and actually that's part of tonight's agenda as well, is just to review how many we've done so far, call volume wise. Actually, that brings me to my next point, phone numbers. So this is where we sit as of the end of September. At the end of September, we've done 1,036 calls so far this year. In comparison to years past, compared to last year, on the bottom left, we're at a 14% increase. At that time last year, we were at 908 calls, and in 2022, we were at 847. So over a 2-year span, we've increased by 22% in call volume, which is definitely felt. It's been helpful to have the Unit 2 available, because for reasons like that, our call volume has very much drastically increased over the time period.
Why do you think that is? I'm curious about that.
So I've reviewed a little bit of the data, and it's not so much that there's a lot of traumas or anything happening. It's realistically kind of more of an aging population in our area, and so it's not like we're consistently going to the same patient over and over again. It's just kind of a drastic array. Mostly medical calls is what we're going to. Yeah, for the most part.
Is any part of it because you're fully staffed and you have the ability to go to more, pick up more instead of calling in somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah, right. Yeah.
So this is total calls we've been dispatched to, and which won't affect so much as to how much crew availability we have. Just not even considering crew availability, our call volume has gone up that much since over the past 2 years.
Probably that drug epidemic probably doesn't help either, does it?
We actually really haven't seen that much for overdoses
Really, yeah? Oh,
lately.
good.
Really not.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know St. Albans has had quite a bit of it, but up here,
Oh, good.
more towards winter time is when we see it
That's good to hear.
more often. Yeah.
We're not unique, it's a nationwide trend.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
everywhere, for sure.
And it's more than what we're used to. That's the big thing we're kind of learning from the state, is that there's more to just kind of the common opioid overdose. There's quite a bit that's out there right now.
Garrett, do these numbers include your transfers? Or
Yes.
That's part of it?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's kind of a breakdown. So total 911 taking is 957. So that total calls dispatch is everything included. 911 transfers, standbys, those are all included in this. So far this year we've done 957 911 calls. Of that 957, 589 have been transported. We've done, at the end of September, we've done 62 transfers, and in years past, we would average between 40, roughly around 40 transfers per year. So definitely the number of transfers we're doing has increased. And then intercepts this year so far, we've done 20. I anticipated that we would do approximately 10, and at this point, we're already up to 20. I spoke with Joey earlier, and we're we're on the track right now of averaging 3 a week with them since the summertime hit. So we've got a good relationship going with Richford right now, and a lot of partnering services, which has been good. This year so far, 32 calls have gone to mutual aid, and we have taken 48 calls for mutual aid. So we've sent 32 calls needing help from mutual aid services, and we've gone to 48 calls sending an ambulance to mutual aid. So that's been good. We've been helping out as much as they've been helping us. We've been helping other services as well. Number trend wise, kind of the bigger outlier is for towns. Berkshire, we've done quite a few calls this year. Berkshire typically averaged 60 to 80 calls per year, and that's definitely increased. But kind of across the board as a whole, each town we've gone to has increased this year. The bigger component is doing more calls for mutual aid than we have done in years past. So again, having that second unit available has been a big help for our mutual aid partners. Our transport rate right now is on average 63%. We typically, as an ambulance service, you try to do 65 to 70% transport rates. Again, we're not in the business of making people go to the hospital, but that's just a trend we look at because that's our revenue for billables. So currently we're at 63%. Aside from that, any questions? Call one. Straightforward. So supply order restrictions. Sam's done very well with this since the first Hurricane Helene that hit North Carolina. It wiped out one of the major plants, or one of the major producers for the fluids that we use. From what Sam said, they supply 60% of the country with IV fluids, and that plant got completely wiped out. So the state's been, across the board, the state's been kind of in a panic with the amount of fluids that's allocated to everybody. As of right now, we're allocated 2 bags of fluid per week.
A month.
A month.
A month?
That's
Really?
it?
That's it.
Yeah, and we'll probably use at least 2 a week.
Yeah.
Wow. How
So
does that work?
Sam was ahead of the game,
Okay.
which was the big part. He did an order as soon as he heard the news about the plant. He put in an order to kind of back us up for the time being. The concern is that this is going to last into springtime next year. That's the big thing. From what I'm hearing from partnering services around the area, some of them don't have the fluid allocation that we have in stock right now, and that's going to be the concern. So right now we have enough to supply us for that time period, but it's going to be outside services that's going to be the question.
So it can't be the only one in the country that was wiped out. But it
It's
put a strain on everything. Is there an ability to get that Canada?
So I know they're originally pulling supply from other countries.
they're mainly pulling, this sounds not great, but from China. They're bringing it in from other factories from outside the U.S. The same company is trying to open a factory in Florida, but that will only replace 5% of the country's needs, and we lost 60% of the country's needs.
Wow.
So this is going to be kind of a longer lasting effect until, I don't know, until someone steps in and fills a large void that we're missing.
Yeah. So basically, from our end, what we're doing, the state's put in place a protocol to kind of restrict our use of fluids. So essentially, only using them when it's absolutely necessary. So essentially, somebody with a very poor blood pressure, in a state of shock, or in that chance that we need to use fluid to administer a medication, in kind of a life-saving scenario. But that's what we're doing as a service right now, is just kind of restricting the amount of fluid we use, because it's going to be in short supply for the foreseeable future. So, and that's across the board. It's not just ambulance services, it's hospitals, it's clinics, operations. They're talking about diverting or stopping elective surgeries because of the fluids, so we'll see what happens.
Has anybody reached out to you looking for extra that you have?
Not to me personally, no. Probably at some point that will happen, and we'll have to review as to what we do by that time period. It's really going to be dependent on what we're needing.
Way to be honest.
Yeah, Sam is way on that.
And we're only allocated the history of what we buy. So, because we're a small ambulance
Right.
service in the grand scheme,
Yeah.
we don't buy a lot of fluids. So they said, since you're small, you get 2 bags a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Which,
We're
yeah,
not that small.
well, yeah.
Well, $1,000 in 9 months. It doesn't seem that small for this area.
for this area, yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of the supply where we're at right now.
Mhm.
Some updates with the ambulances. If you guys may have noticed, we've got Unit 3 currently parked in the garage. We've hoed out the ambulance bay garage. We've moved the cabinets around so it fits a little better. It seems like it's going to be a good fit through the winter months. It's been on a bunch of long distance transports actually. Since it's been in service, we had a crew go to Maine. They did a transport to Maine. We've been to Bennington, Brattleboro, and then UVM multiple times with it, so it's getting its use, which is good.
And a couple 911s.
And 911s, yep. So it's been very good. And we've got some maintenance coming up with the other ambulances, so that'll be helpful to have that. We won't have to have the worry of having one truck coming up here. Any questions with the ambulances before I move on?
Is there a side door that comes out, or do you gotta move the works?
Yep, and it's convenient, it works. There's a side door on the side that we can access easily.
He meant to get the
You meant to get the ambulance in.
In the garage.
Oh,
No, you gotta.
Yeah, there's think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did
You
talk
should
about.
think about that, put a door there.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that'd be great. If it fits in there like that, that would be super.
yeah.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have to be a super big door. For
No,
that.
no, for that, just for that, make it for that rig, and, you know, when you replace it, get another one that fits in there.
Did you wanna call over to the company or something, see if they can open it?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I know there's a main beam for the station that goes right there. Are they capable of doing that, or do you have to have?
I'm sure you must
separate
have to have
company.
a structural steel
They'll
guy.
tell you. What they can do.
Green Mountain Welding, they do buildings just like this, so.
Isn't there a little bit of conduit too there? Here,
Yes.
Didn't we say?
Electrician.
Little, so have some, yeah, electrical stuff.
I know the Plymouth system is right in that area as to where the door would go, so that may be something that has to be moved.
Were
aside
you
from
able to
that-
get in touch with the electrician?
No, that was on my agenda today. I didn't get to it.
So you
Tomorrow
can
I
ask
will.
him when he comes in.
Yes, Tim Kane, you said, right?
Green Mountain Welding is Earl. Well, why can't I think of his name?
Green Mountain Welding, you said?
Yep,
And they do stuff like that.
yep.
Where they at?
It's in Albans. It's a friend of mine's steps. I can John Blank.
We may need, if we do go ahead with that, we may need to have to put some kind of stone or concrete or something, because there's that grassy area between the
Right.
pavement.
Yeah.
And,
For sure, temporarily, we probably could do some stone.
Yep.
We're supposed to pave, so if we couldn't pave off the next year, the paving could probably
yeah,
overlay
Some
over
of that
down.
good packing stuff would work.
Earl Rogers.
Earl Rogers.
Yeah.
I'll get some quotes on that and I'll bring that to you guys next meeting. Beautiful. Winter is coming up very shortly here. We've got the ambulances scheduled to get winter tires placed. We do need a set of new winter tires for one of the box trucks and then a set of winter tires for the transit van. I got a quote from Nick at Post Road Repair, and these were the prices he gave me. The first one is the transit van tire. This is the tire that we've been using in the past. It's a Hacapolita studded tire. It seems to be a very good tire for what we're using it for. And he can get it at $285 a piece. At 6 tires, that includes installation. That would be $1,710. What did I say? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you
press
said
line.
the van, I wondered that. And then I saw you had it written on top, the 2020.
Crestline 22. So that would require 6 tires. And then the other one is for the transit van. So the Crestline would be studded snow tires. The transit van would be non-studded. My concern with the studs, because we have to maneuver that van right now into the garage, I don't want to tear the concrete up. So that would just be normal winter
It's all-wheel
tires.
drive too, right?
Correct, yep.
Did you get some of those, rubber matting?
Like the ones they use in like cow parlors? Yeah, we probably could to kind of support it.
I'd rather be more concerned about it on the road than
Yeah.
the cement.
I can get a quote for
That's just my,
studded
that's
tires.
just my opinion.
I don't- I mean, you're not taking in and out of there every day, 4 or 5
Right.
times a day, so
It's more when you like pivot the wheels to turn, that's when it digs up the concrete.
I'll paint it after. I would think the studs are gonna give you a lot more security on the road.
Mhm.
Some of these Montgomery back road places.
Right.
And even the long trips on the
Yeah.
interstate on shitty weather.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, that's my,
It's
that's
only
my
gonna be,
thought.
it
But,
may not be that long if we can get that door done.
right.
He said for that tire, it would be an additional $20 per tire for studded. If you want to do studded.
I don't know, that's, what do you guys, the thoughts? And
Well,
I'm a stud.
I ended up doing that with my wife's car, and
studded
it
tire
was all the
fan.
difference in the world.
I'm a studded tire fan,
Yeah.
I love them.
You didn't have to worry.
right.
When you're in the vehicle and you feel it, it's a little touchy, and you put studs on it, and it's a lot safer.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, that's, I would lean that way.
Okay.
It's easier to fix cement than lights.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. So the Crestline total studded tires, studded snows for the Hawkapolitas would be 1,710. The Transit van is 804 without studded. With studded, yep, $884. And that includes installation.
You get the 5% military discount?
I can ask him. There was a rebate going. I don't know if it's still going. If there's a rebate, that would be cool.
I know some of us are veterans. You probably get some veterans on the crew.
Right, we don't have a public service
So, yeah.
discount.
Mm.
And they may.
Some places we do, some we
Yeah,
don't.
I mean, Nick's pretty small, so any discount he gets probably coming right off his profit.
Yeah, he gets an order directly from Nokian.
Right.
Whereas I basically went on like Discount Tire and Tire Rack just to see what their prices were.
Not much different.
His are better.
Better prices.
Mm-hmm. Better than what I could find.
You probably treated as well.
Yeah.
He
That's
always
good.
has, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
That's good. We appreciate it.
It's definitely good to be jumping on the bandwagon right now, because when you get that first snow, you might be down the line from getting one installed.
Yeah.
I move that we purchase on both vehicles.
Second.
Mm-hmm.
It's been moved and seconded to purchase new tires, new winter tires for the Crestline and the van ambulance. Any discussion on that?
Just make sure they're studded.
Seeing no discussion, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Anyway,
Any opposed? No, it is good to be on them.
Perfect.
Now, are the, what's on there now, summer tires or?
Summer tires, yeah.
Summer tires on both. Now, the 17 or that tire's still good?
Yeah, we have a set that we purchased 2 years ago. They're still good. Those will go on the 17. We'll be able to easily get another year out of those. But that'll be the last year on that set of tires. So next year we'll have to purchase another set of snow tires.
Okay. And the Crestline, them are no good?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I've got a set of tires that are no good sitting in there, so if anybody needs tires, for whatever need.
No, for no good.
No good. For no good tires, right. You see them on the side
you
of the
know,
road.
obstacle course, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. So radio communications, this is a thing that has been the bane of us. Burlington came here a few weeks ago and replaced the antenna on the big pole. We've had an issue with communications when we're in Enosburgh or in this area trying to talk to Central. I spoke with them and they're sending a technician out here Thursday this week to come look at the issue. Talking with Mark and Robert, They did advise that our system that we currently use is very old. The current radio system that we have in this station is 30 years old. I'm 32. So I spoke with Burlington and I asked them just to put a quote together for me to see how much it would be to replace the radio system within the station. With that quote, then there is grant money out there. I know Homeland Security has grants for radio communications. But just to give me an idea as to how much it would be, so I can go ahead and look at these grants. It is going to be an expensive cost, that I do know. But just to keep you guys in the loop and informed that I'm hoping they can at least get us through with this technician coming here on Thursday until we can come up with a better system for the radio communications.
So the communications is dependent upon what's in this building, all your rigs to have.
In a nutshell, basically what happens is, correct me if I'm wrong on this, when you talk with any of the apparatuses, any of the vehicles, they work off of we have what's called the link system. So Central talks to us to UHF, which is converted to VHF, and then when we talk to them, it does the same thing. It converts it in the opposite direction so we can talk to them. Once we get on the other side of Sheldon, then we strictly talk to them on VHF. It's because of our distance as to how far we are and bouncing off of the towers for us to communicate with them.
So if we had a cell tower in this general area, like more towers, like say in West Enosburgh,
So
we probably would have better signal.
the main problem is the tower we bounced off of now is right out here. The pole that we replaced the antenna on, that's basically wherever we are in our service area, we talk to the tower here, the tower goes to St. Albans.
So maybe if it comes up for revisit, we could write a letter on behalf of the town and emergency services to say how needed it is, and maybe we can get one for that.
I'm not really sure where they're at with that. It's still in federal court and they turned it down, so it's kind of questioning
I
whether.
mean, it's almost, emergency services.
Right.
Something that should
Yeah.
really.
And I was listening to the scanner on that Friday when the event happened in West Enosburgh, and it was crazy how much no one could talk.
Yep.
Back and forth, like all the time.
I know all about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked to Matt there when we were chopping corn, and he was talking about trying to do a different route.
Yeah.
But there's like he wanted to put it like on a silo and stuff, but the study wasn't done on the silo, and it's not going to be as effective as this other location.
Right. The elevation is going to be vastly different from the top of that hill to where his elevation is here, where the proposed tower was up here, and then that's going to be 153 feet up there. The tower is 153 feet tall, so I think the difference in elevation was
Absolutely.
substantial. It's what they're waiting on. The federal courts threw it out. I can't remember, threw it out, whatever, and it's a matter of if they want to appeal that decision, if industrial wants to appeal it. So.
Gotcha.
So if
It could be
they,
an option, should have to, just for emergency services.
The argument is lowering it 20 feet. So it's actually, it's 153, but they have, the whip antennas are 13 feet, so it's actually a 140 down to a 120. So but if they go to a 120, then they've got to start the whole entire process all over again.
Right.
so if they had that one of these cell towers, then would you even have the radio situation? You still need the upgraded radio.
It would probably still require the upgraded radio.
Central was gonna put, I don't know what, but they were giving Central a free space on the tower. Now, I don't know what that meant, the UHFH. Yeah, they were gonna give us space.
Because it's Matt Hill's.
Yeah. So the system they're using, I'll use Bakersfield and Sheldon for example, they use a system called Simulcast. It's kind of the system that everybody is switching to right now. There are pros and cons to it. It does seem very workable. They've had great success with it. It's a system that Ampere uses as well. It's a very expensive system. That's the main thing. I believe it's a voice over IP system. Yeah. There are pros and cons to it, but that's one of the things we're going to have them look at as well as to how much it would be to switch to a simulcast system. But something we do need to look at in the future because they have said our system's very old.
Yeah.
But I think you guys were experiencing it as well. Radio communications.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. I told them they're coming here on Thursday this week.
Yeah,
I've been trying to figure it out, but it's a 30-year-old system too.
yeah.
Of course, in the federal, the narrow band, that made it worse. It never was super great, but it made it worse for sure.
Yeah.
And it seems to keep getting worse,
Yeah.
for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, actually. We got that repeater up on the Warren neighborhood, and
Yep.
probably need to do some maintenance to it. Batteries, probably not.
When was that antenna put in?
I don't know.
Because that's what I was wondering, the one on the
Probably about
side of this
15 years
building.
ago.
Yeah, anyways, and so it's got battery backup, so when the
Right.
power goes out, then it's not long, and we basically don't have radios anymore. Without that repeater, we hardly can, you need to almost be able to see each other, be on the same road, like on the same plane.
It's crazy.
If you got a hill in between you, just forget about it.
Yep. It's all line of
We,
sight.
we rely on that repeater most of the time.
Yep. And I think that repeater's the same age as well. I think that's 15 years old too.
I think I think it was done all about the same time.
Yeah. So they're gonna come here and take a look at it. It may be a situation that they need to replace that antenna.
Yeah,
But I'm getting a quote from them just to see how much it would be to kind of overhaul the system
yep,
and see if there's some grant money out there.
yep.
So I'll update you guys with that once I find out from them.
The radios you guys got, Garrett, are still the ones that the Homeland Security grant bought? Or have you updated since then, probably?
Are you talking the base station or the trucks?
Both probably, I'm not sure, like with us,
The ones in the truck, so like the new van we just purchased, that one's brand new, that wasn't through Homeland Security.
are they 100 watt?
I believe so,
Yes.
yeah.
See, the ours are like 45, when we did it, they wanted 100 watt, but the grant went to pay for it, they said that we'd be overcasting it into Canada and bothering them, so, yeah, so we got 45 watt radios.
Got you.
So that, I'm sure that's probably a big part of the problem.
Yeah, I'll touch base with you and Mark once I find out from them about what they're gonna find.
Yeah, an improvement would be much appreciated.
Definitely.
It's bad sometimes,
Yeah,
pretty frustrating actually.
yeah, exactly. We need to be able to communicate. So, I'll give you guys an update once I find out more. Any other questions or anything for the radio? We've paid that invoice, so the antenna and everything's been covered. We're just looking into this new issue we have.
Okay. Good.
And then our last thing, and the big reason I brought Billy here, and I'll let you kind of take it away. This is something Billy's been working on with the St. Albans Police Department. It's the SRT program, and I'll let you go with it.
So if you guys see the first document, this is the SRT medic program. If you actually go and just go to the back of that, go 6 pages in, you'll see a memorandum of understanding. So this is still a working document, and that's something that I'm working on at more of a state level. Just some information for you guys to have on that one. The memorandum of understanding, so St. Albans PD and Franklin County Sheriff's Department used to have a combined special response team, or for lack of better terms, a SWAT team. I was the medic on that for 5 years. That dissolved in like 2020. This year, St. Albans PD is starting up their special response team, so just with the city PD. And I was approached to be their medic again. So this is an identical memorandum of understanding that we had with Missisquoi Valley Ambulance and Jay, because that's who I was a member of when I was a member of the team before. So it's honestly, all I did was cut and paste and change the names to Enosburgh. A couple things that I want to point out in it though is it says something about supplying all equipment, like we supply all equipment. We don't need to. I own all my own tactical equipment. I have all the medical supplies. I want to make sure that we have the right stuff when I'm going out with these guys. So there is no cost associated with this. I already own all my tactical gear and everything. I have been training with them. We train every month.
So essentially, the St. Albans team, they're looking to set up with us. They used to have a system in place with another ambulance service. And a big thing, because we have essentially the majority of paramedics here, they're looking to set up with us.
So with this, at our last training, I talked with, the team commander, because when we, state police, they've done a couple things in this town recently, and every time they do, they have us stand by. But we're standing by at a distance, so it's no different than any other call. They've asked, because we do have the majority of the paramedics, and we have some very well-trained staff, that our ambulance actually accompanies them when they do go on call-outs, which is no different than any other 911 call. It'd be considered like a mutual aid call. But they definitely wanted Enosburgh to be the ambulance that was standing by with them, wherever they happen to be in the county. So it's something Garrett and I have talked about. Definitely it's an honor to be asked that, especially if we're going into the city. So we've talked about it, and it's something that I'm definitely gonna look at. Like, it might not even be the on-duty crew, it could be, we call in a couple people that know and been to situations like this before. Just to make it perfectly clear, the ambulance crew would not be in any more danger than they would be if we went to a 911 call right now. They're gonna be blocks away, unlike me, who's embedded with the team.
So the crew is not physically going in with the SWAT team, they are on standby.
So it's no different than doing any other 911 call. Like I said, the only one that is actually embedded right now is me. And this will be like going on 6 or 7 years of doing this with them. So, just wanted to throw it out, make sure that you guys understood, like the memorandum of understanding just says that you'll provide me, and we'll provide an ambulance, and that's pretty much all it really says. I mean, it goes into a lot of detail, but if you want to just look at it, see what you think. There's not a lot, obviously, that I will or probably can talk about with the SRT team, but like some of the things we're going to look at when I ask people to do it are people that we know that if I call Sam tomorrow night and say we're doing something tomorrow, that we know Sam isn't putting it on Facebook. So there'll be a little bit of
Communications
who's
do
going
not
to be, who
get
I
into
feel
the
is going to
public.
be OPSEC enough to do something like this.
And the thing is that Sam and Garrett Greg had approached us on, you were working on something like that before, right?
That was a rescue task force.
That's a rescue, so it's completely different.
It's a completely different.
Separate, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Separate than this. Rescue task force does not go in a hot zone. They go in a warm zone just like we do on everyday calls. So the difference with this is just it's the TACMED program, so I'm actually going in the hot zone or sitting outside the hot zone with them.
Yeah.
So, this is the way it's done around the country right now, is you get a non-sworn certified medical person and embed them with a team, so they're unarmed, they're unsworn. It's so much easier to train a medic on tactics than it is to train a cop to be a medic, so. Anyway, so that's a project we've been working on. This has been sent to St. Albans PD to review the memorandum of understanding. And Lieutenant Jason Weatherby said he would get back to me with that. So there's really no need to sign it right now. I think it was more of an information that we wanted to provide to you guys and get thoughts on it.
Do you have a protective, vest?
Oh, yeah, I have everything.
Oh, you do?
I personally have everything because I was on this team before.
Yeah, okay.
I also have the experience. I mean, I was military prior, and I've also done a lot of this TACMED training. So I do a lot of TACMED stuff. I actually did a lecture on it this weekend. So
Great.
yeah.
I think that's great to hear on that, and
Yeah.
it's quite an
Part
honor
of it.
for them to want to
Ask us for sure.
the ambulance crew to be the one that goes with them.
Yeah, they definitely said they would want, and it makes for a great continuity of care because I'm handing off to Garrett, let's say, I'm handing off to someone that I work with every day, so I know when I get there and they get to me and I hand them off.
A known person.
Yeah, and the reason we want it staffed at the medical level is so if we do have a medical emergency, I hand it to another medic. Otherwise, legally, I need to leave that scene, so those guys would be unprotected.
Right.
So that's why we want to provide a medical level service. So
Is there any income or expense on this?
there's no expense other than what you're spending on me right now. 'Cause So I'd already, according to this, like I'd still be covered by your workman's comp and that stuff because I'm still employed here.
Yep.
But other than that, no expense. I have all the equipment. I purchased most of the equipment, and then the stuff that we don't need to purchase, I've talked to Sam and we've worked on like purchasing. And then honestly, like the last purchase, we talked about me paying for it. So you know, we bought some stuff for the team, some medical stuff for the team, and you know, I covered the cost. So that's one of the things we're looking at.
The income-wise, this is something that would definitely open us up for more grants. Once you're directly affiliated with, I'll call it a SWAT force, that opens you up to more grants and availability for funds. And especially like you brought up the idea, you know, body armor and the equipment for it. So what the physical ambulance crew were doing, would they necessarily need body armor? No, because they're not going into the warm zone or the hot zone or anything like that, but it is one of those things that could be beneficial to carry. I know Sam's been looking into grants, you know, even before this was looked into for funding on it, but this would be kind of that added thing to us, to our community.
Cool.
Definitely a big pat on the shoulder for the service.
Yeah.
Good recommendation. So once we hear back from Lieutenant Weatherby and I just forget the chief's name. Well, yeah. We'll touch base with you guys again and then look into signing the memorandum of understanding. And if there's any revisions or anything that you guys, after reading it, you come up with, let us know. And we can touch base with them as well.
Something Vaughn should take a look at.
I don't really think so, but I'll email him and ask him.
Yep.
It's pretty quick.
Yep.
So definitely, if there's something they want to add to protect us even more.
Definitely. You guys have any questions about it? Or?
Just add the H to the Enosburgh.
We have been, Enosburgh ambulance has been used a couple times for one of the raids here that wasn't done by us, it was done by state police and marshals. We actually were asked to send a medic to the scene. So
they're using us more and more right now.
yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Because we have the availability.
It's a lot of that's, you know, knowing the people. So like the state police SRT team, we know most of the people on it, so they call and ask us. So.
That's a good job.
One thing I'd just like to add, and it has nothing to do with this, but I taught at another big class this weekend in the district, and was approached by more people at that class on how this service is doing in the last year and a half to 2 years. So thank you for the support because it's being noticed everywhere. I came in this morning and told Garrett like they invited me down to teach and
I think
nothing
you
but
guys
great
deserve the
things.
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for all you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out that other people are talking about where it's come in the past year and a half. So
I think it was a leap of faith on everybody's part. I mean, you guys leaving stable jobs you already had to come to an unknown. The board and like, how many people do we need?
I was gonna say, everyone takes a chance.
Every time I call Larry Jarvis, he'd be like, another full?
Yeah, well, thank you.
Good job.
Thanks for saying
Yeah,
that.
Great job.
Yeah,
That's a good
it was nice to hear,
It was-
you know, when you're
yeah.
down there teaching somewhere else.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
But no, it's on you guys. You guys have it up and done a great job.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
You guys are all sitting with me?
We are.
You're
I
sitting
think
with
so.
me?
The only other thing I had was just next meeting. The big things I'm gonna look into. Budget season's here, so that's something I've been going over crazy daily. So I'd like to look at the budget, start to look at the budget next meeting, go over the contract with the town of Franklin. So I have that ready for them in December, and then I'll come back to you guys with the information from Burlington Communications with what I find out from them and the overhead door. I forget that.
And you should look at the end term of Bakersfield to get an idea of
Yes. Yeah, I think
Bakersfield was a little longer than the others.
Longer, yeah. I think it
Yeah,
was
that was-
5 and we
Yeah.
did 3 with Franklin.
Yeah. Yes, I would love it if they go to a 5-year contract, because I think that's the
I think
last.
that would-
And from a select board side,
Yeah.
thank you for going to these other
Oh,
meetings.
yeah.
I went to plenty of those and,
Yeah,
it's, sometimes it can be contentious and
yeah,
it was at that time, and I
Yeah.
think the way now the service is speaking for itself, it's a lot easier
yeah.
to get these contracts going forward.
Yeah, yeah, if we can get everybody on a rotating 5-year contract, that would
I
be
think 5 is definitely.
the best.
If they want to go more, that's great too.
Yep. You never know. So yeah, I'll come back to you guys with that information and we'll pick up where we left off next meeting. Good deal. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can leave your chair to listen to this.
Okay.
Get it all warmed up.
All warmed up for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Nice to see you, Mark.
Yep.
Going next.
Did you print the driver's permit? 'Cause I did have a copy. Did you have one with you?
Yep.
Okay.
For Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, Patty's gonna be coming in for one tomorrow too, I think. Tomorrow.
We had one too.
Yeah, I see Taylor,
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
No,
Taylor's building on Davis Road.
Taylor's?
Yeah, I seen him down there one day and I said, oh, must be he's getting Andre's one of his lots there. So it must be he's doing some firewood thing with them. Next thing I know, it's like,
Yeah. Still waiting for a signature from both of us.
the well going in, the foundation going in. He's right across the road from Adiet's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been looking, trying to figure it out.
So the other part's probably
Yeah.
executive stuff when it comes to this.
It's good to know an eye
So their
neighbor's coming in.
driveway
too.
application for Taylor Johnson on Davis Road.
Yeah, but he won't care if some
Well,
trucks are running by like.
Andre
Yeah.
the ends, building a house, they've been working on it, so. His existing driveway that Andre had, and he just was doing some upgrades to it, kind of straightening it out so it meets the road 90 degrees, cutting some trees and for visibility and stuff, so. I don't know if they've done much with the driveway actually, but they've been drilling a well and,
I was wondering about where that driveway was gonna be located because it's
yeah.
a little cuff right there in the hill and I'm like, boy.
It's a tough spot there, but I think you can, where they're putting it, you can see, I know, been in there, you can see the top of Matt Gilpin's, you can see his mailbox. I
Yeah.
think you'll see the top of a vehicle, but we could get them to put a sign there too, but after a while, they're gonna have somebody with a sign there.
Right.
We're gonna keep them up for somebody to.
And sometimes when there's something you notice every day, you don't notice it every day.
Right, you notice it when it's new, but
Right.
after that, you don't
When it's
even notice
missing.
it. That's what I tell
Isn't there
everybody.
something there?
So he needs a permit, driving?
Yeah, he's got an application here and, I put some, he doesn't need a culvert because it grades away from the road. But I just cut some trees and limbs to being able to adjust the driveway so it meets the road 90 degrees. And for visibility reasons. They'd already used up my space there so pretty much, so I guess it's off the side here. Yeah, so I'll give you the whole thing, but I guess just the second page is the only one you want to stop. Yeah, it's one of them where the property lines are, it's hard to.
Oh, is the line right?
It's
right
quite
close
a
to
ways
the-
towards Matt Gilpin's, but it's not too far the other way.
Right.
And they already,
The other way is a little better
the
location.
design for the house, the well and everything is
It's
already
only like
done,
2
so
acres,
this is where.
Yeah,
It's like only like 2 acres.
yeah, 1 point something. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, there's a bigger lot right next to it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
40 acres or 30 something acres. They bought the 2 acre.
Oh, I was wondering because Taylor likes to hunt. I thought maybe.
Yeah,
you
so
have
they
a bunch-
don't border Steve Parent, they don't go down that.
No,
No,
it's
there's
on
one
the
there.
other side.
That's where lines are so close.
At least that's what I think. I think there's the bigger lots in between.
Yeah.
I don't ever travel.
Yeah, because land goes way down there and it's gonna be landlocked if not one of those lots doesn't go all the way down there.
I think that's only ones that he had subdivided. I think the last one left is not subdivided or didn't finish. I think it's just like the 38 or
Yeah, it's just the whatever,
I don't
yeah, it's
think
like
that one
just shy of
has
40
anything-
acres there. It's right in between there
Unless
and
he
it goes,
decides to do.
yeah, it's kinda like a panhandle and then it comes in and white, you know, cause you got
Snowmobile
the road
trail.
frontage and then it widens out there.
There must be one to the, the east, I guess, of, towards
I
Boston
can't
Post.
remember.
There must be one there too, 'cause there's
How
quite a
many?
ways
Because,
between
what-
there and
Ryan
Roger.
bought
Just the
two.
one.
There was like 5 total.
Brian,
Brian,
Let me see here.
Van
Van
Dyke.
Dyke,
He bought 2, Van Dyke bought 2.
is that the one that put the double wide?
Yeah,
on?
she bought 2 and then the big one was 3, so there must be another one in there.
Must be
Maybe
See
there's
that on
a
the
5,
list
maybe it's
required.
only 4, I don't know, I can't remember. I looked at that map a million times.
Yeah, this
I
is
see it on the
probably,
list card, that's all.
this is probably a snowmobile trail. Yeah, this is a snowmobile trail, so yeah, that
There's
would
4.
would be it. No. No, this is,
Turn it around, huh?
this is Diaz.
Oh, okay.
It's from Gene St. Cyrs,
That is, yeah.
I think, right?
What's that?
Or maybe that one's, no.
No, I think
This is a pool, right?
That's Gene's old place.
Yeah, that's the pool for Gene, so
Yeah.
that would be Diaz.
So where's he gonna be? Taylor's gonna be right here? That's the Skidoo Trail, because it comes right
Must
across
be.
and goes right up here, see it?
Yeah, he's just about across from Gary Dietz driveway, so he's right here somewhere.
Yeah.
His house is going, and I think this must be property line,
Yeah, I got you, yeah.
and I think his house is about here.
Nothing we all have to sign.
Because it's just about across from Gary Dietz. That's
Yeah.
where.
Do we need a
Yeah.
motion or?
Yeah.
I'll move. Do a driveway permit for Taylor Johnson and Davis Road. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Sleeping.
Sometimes it just needs to be said.
Keep it going.
I did that.
Let's get the trick or treat stuff out already.
I didn't have time for cookies, I was not here.
I was just gonna say it.
I had to get Well, that's a good idea.
It's been moved to, accept the driveway permit for Taylor Johnson and seconded. Any discussion on it? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay? We are good. We gotta sign 1 or 2 spots?
One.
Just 1?
One's a preliminary and the other one's final or something.
Yeah, one's the notice to proceed, and then the other one's the actual sign off at the end, which never happened.
Right.
Here's that protects us. I don't know, what was that? Even in, I think it's sticking to
Something sticky on the floor.
the yeah, it was like jam or something.
Was there, you have other stuff, but it's an executive, Joey, or is there other
Yeah.
stuff in the regular meeting? No?
Nothing for regular at all.
Alright.
I'll move it, we go into executive. I'll second.
Is this on, what, employee?
It's gonna be on employees and, stuff detrimental to the town. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. A full list of things.
We need a motion? We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seconded.